Guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend. Oh my god, like, raise one for still being on the correct side of the ground. My god. Has been a week. And that is a story for another day. Those of you who know. Those of you who don't, again, that is a story for another friggin' day, because I don't have it in me right now to recount it. It's still too fresh a wound. No, we're just not. Anyway, so, I feel really bad that my last thing that was on this channel prior to right now was live streaming a fucking Mortician's Tale. And then I disappear for like a week. I was like, I knew damn well the optics on that were so bad, but there was literally nothing I could do in the meantime. So like, it was like, shit. I really hope people aren't drawing the wrong conclusion here, because no, I was not even intending to disappear. Dear God. But anyway, like I said, another story, another day. But you know what story we are gonna tell today, because I don't know why. I feel like I literally don't even remember how to film right now, so I'm kind of just throwing myself in at the deep end. Should I be resting right now? Yeah. Am I? No. Because I'm a fucking workaholic, so deal with it. Anyway, so we are going to tell the bus trip from hell story, finally! After, what, 6 years? So... enough time has finally passed from that story to where I can tell it without trauma and to where I can at least laugh at it. I actually did film a story time of it back at the time, like right after I came home from that trip. And honestly, I did not have it in my soul to post that after how it came out and how just irrationally upset I still was at that point. Enough time has passed. I can laugh, just the friggin' comedy of errors that entire disaster was. So, this brings us back to late summer, early autumn of 2019 for this story time, okay? So, some of you know, some of you don't. In California, in 2019, we started getting those groovy PSPS power shutoffs that are planned shutoffs because of wildfire dangers, because we're freaking California. And because PG&E is trying to save their asses and not be blamed for their lines causing fires, because they got sued too many times over a lot of really big ones, which, okay, valid. But the PSPS things have not really been great. And I don't know that they've actually prevented shit. Other than, like, in Napa wine country or something, but... regardless, okay, no one knew how they were gonna play out. They made it sound very big and very scary when they started talking about it on the news. So, come the first one, we had a heads up before it happened. By, like, a couple days before it was going to occur. And, I mean, like, on that website, you can type in your address and see, like, are you in one of the areas that'll be hit? And they used to be much larger, more expansive areas that were affected every time. They have gotten better at minimizing this with the grid at this point, to where now it's pretty localized to the actual immediate threat areas. So I'm glad they fixed that, because we used to land in it every goddamn time. It's not great. Have we ever actually had a wildfire here on this property? Fuck no. Have we had them in the area? Yeah. But not here, so why us? Oh, right, because of all the open pasture land. They thought that was a threat, and since there's, like, a nature trail that leads down to the lake that does, in fact, go up quite frequently, I mean, I get it, but there's better ways, and it seems like they have, in fact, improved this, knock on all the wood, at this point, that they don't go back to how they used to, because that shit sucked. We have solar with battery backup at this point anyway, but I mean, that helps somewhat, depending on the time of year it is, but I mean, like, in winter, that don't help much. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So, I hear about that, and I'm already getting sidetracked within my own story here, to where I'm like, ooh, I should look at the app for our solar panels. What the fuck is wrong with me? The ADD is so real. I told you, I feel like I don't remember how to make videos after, like, a week of being gone, but, like, and basically being in isolation for a fucking week. But anyway, with nothing to do to pass the time, it just makes me crazy. Anyways, that said, yeah, so, I heard that. I panicked, being as terminally online as I am. I did not like the sound of that. It freaked me the actual fuck out. So I was like, nope, not doing this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get me a Greyhound bus ticket to Arizona. A one-way ticket, and I'm gonna go there. You guys let me know when it's all done and over with and I'll come home, because I very foolishly thought this would be a one-time thing. Ha ha. I thought. Yeah. That'll be the footnote at the end of the story. You already see where this is headed. But anyway, so, fine. I freaking get me a one-way bus ticket. One-way bus ticket to Arizona. And I figure, I've never done this before. I've never taken a bus before. It'd be an adventure. So, could be fun. Could be fun. It was not fun. Oh no. Nothing could have prepared me for the absolute hellscape that was this fucking bus trip. It started out normally enough. Like, my dad dropped me off at the bus depot around, like, 7 p.m. that night. The bus wasn't supposed to be there till about a little before 8, but I wanted to be early. I did not want to miss this fucking thing after throwing, like, a couple $100 at this, but, anyway. Yeah, I did not do a 1 through 1. I did one that had stops and bus transfers and was like, I'll figure it out as I go. I'll be fine. I am not the first person to ever do this. I can figure it out. Probably. Probably. It wasn't as bad as I thought for that part, at least, thank God. So I'm just chilling. This bus depot is in a not great neighborhood, but was like, well, I don't really have too many fucking options now, do I? So I'm gonna wait here for this bus. I'm gonna hope that nobody mugs me in the meantime, because that would really suck. But anyway, thankfully that did not happen. Of all the things that could have happened, that was mercifully not one of them. I tried to just make friends with the other people who were waiting and just chill, pass the time, because I mean, I'm pretty much an open book, as you guys know from how this channel goes. I'll talk about whatever to anyone who will fucking listen. So, fine, whatever. I'm probably, like, annoying the shit out of these poor people, but they weren't even getting on the same bus I was, is my favorite part, but it was just whoever happened to be there and didn't look scary like they might kill me, I'll chat with them. So fine, did that. Bus gets there. I board the first one. It's great. I mean, there's even, like, lights on in this bus. This is fantastic. It's like being indoors in the bus with the lights on. Like, oh, this isn't so bad. This isn't so scary. And oh, look at that. There's this place to plug in my phone, and it's got internet built in. This is fantastic. Like, what was I worried about? This is gonna be easy peasy. Ha! 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 Led me into a false sense of security real quick that was very quickly jolted out of me. That first leg of it, smooth as hell, not a problem, not one single complaint. I will say that it was quite ironic to me that I, of all people, I sit down in the seat that I happen to pick. What do I find between the seats, wedged between the seats in front of me? A random fucking chapstick. Am I taking a random fucking used chapstick? God, no. But I mean, just the fact that of all the things that could have been there, I'm like, this feels fitting. This feels fitting. Anyway, so that's a whole last thing in and of itself, and I'm busy being distracted for all of, like, 15 minutes while we drive to the first transfer, which is in Oakland. I clearly did not look at the details on this, or I never would have agreed to this had I realized that A, Oakland was a thing to be involved in this, and B, that I'd be sitting in a bus depot in a very bad part of Oakland for like 3 fucking hours, late at night, with no one accompanying me. I'm sitting here like that Simpsons gif with with Ralph, like, ah, I'm in danger! Like, literally me at that moment. But I'm like, okay, let's not stereotype. Let's just take it for what it is. There's a lot of people around. It'll probably be fine. I don't think anyone's gonna fuck with you in plain view of everyone else here. I am just going to sit down and I'm going to watch that TV on the wall and try to just chill. And at first it seemed fine. I'm chilling. I'm looking at the TV. I'm looking at the cool architecture because it's like this really pretty dome thing. It was like, actually, you know, if this weren't in Oakland, it'd actually be a really nice bus depot because of the architecture of this place, right? And I'm looking around. I'm like taking a picture of the ceiling. And it was after I came to, like, pulled it back down to look at the picture how it turned out on my phone that I noticed on the floor about 2 feet away from me a big-ass puddle of blood just chilling on the floor. No caution tape around it. Nobody attempting to clean that up. No story of what the fuck happened there, but it is very clearly blood. And boy, how fast I fucking moved away from that and found the seat as close as humanly possible to the security guard and just was like, I'm just gonna stay right the fuck here next to this cop until it's time to board that bus. Cause holy shit, what the fuck happened over there? I don't want to know. I don't want to know. You know what? I'm just gonna stay over here where I feel safe. And so I did. And it was fine. At one point, I thought I was going to take a bathroom break. Go in the bathroom, and there's 2 junkies openly doing crack in the bathroom. Because this is Oakland, and that is about as Oakland of a thing to walk in on as you can imagine, really. I was like, shouldn't even be surprised. I'm not going to make eye contact. I'm just going to turn around and walk back out and go back to where I was sitting. I will fucking hold it until the next stop. I don't care. It's fine. If I hold it long enough, the urge will go away. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Whatever. I'm just gonna sit here, try to not think about it, and at the same time, I'm texting my girlfriend. I'm like, I'm in fucking danger. I'm having second thoughts about this whole thing. Definitely considering tapping out on this. I kind of am tempted to just call my dad since I'm only in Oakland and be like, hey, I changed my mind. I'm gonna eat the price of the ticket. Can you just come get me? I'm scared and I don't want to do this anymore. But I did not do that. She talked me out of it, actually. And I'm still not 100% sure if that was a good or a bad thing that she talked me out of it. Because actually, I probably would have been spared a shit ton of trauma had I just tapped out at that point and turned around and gone home. But I did not do that. I stayed there. By the time we finally boarded the bus, it was like 11:30 at night or some shit at that point. It was like, okay, cool. It's very late at night. I guess I'm glad to be getting the actual fuck out of Oakland, though. So, that's a plus. Let us get on the bus and just chill. Immediately, there was a vibe shift with this second bus from the first bus. Because this driver would not at all allow the lights to be on in the bus. And he said, no one is to have lights on. I don't want to see any lights from anything. I don't want to see anybody using the flashlight on their phone. If there is so much as one person who turns a light on, I will stop this bus and throw you off. Understood? It was like, okay, don't know who pissed in your Cheerios today, sir, but alright, I'll just be very, very cautious. Kind of ruined my whole plan that I thought I was gonna, like, use my little around-the-neck flashlights to read, but guess we're not doing that. I turned the brightness all the fucking way down on my phone and had it, like, inside my hoodie, trying to not let any light be seen, because I don't want to be thrown off the bus in the middle of goddamn Oakland. So it's like, no, I'm just gonna chill. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm scared. But I'm trying to just talk myself down. Talk myself down. Around this point, I realize I've picked the worst spot on this particular bus because the outlet for my phone is not working. And this is a very full bus. I cannot just switch, so I guess I'll just try to not use it, at least since I turned down the brightness anyway. It should last longer, but I should probably be very selective with my Wi-Fi usage. Okay, fine. I have literally nothing to do to pass the time. how is it long, or how long is it between here and the next bus depot to switch the friggin' buses? Oh, about 6 or 7 hours. Cool. Cool. Guess that's a thing. Alright, fine. So fine. I'm chilling, bored out of my fucking skull, really regretting every life choice. And I finally decide around like 1 in the morning, 1:30, somewhere around there, I put my headphones on and I pull up Spotify and I'm just kind of like chilling, looking at the window, and I'm looking at how pretty the moon looks out there. Alright? And I'm thinking, oh, I know the perfect song for this. And I put on the Beatles' Mr. Moonlight, and it is the first time in my life I ever fucking appreciated that song. Because actually, for me, up until that moment, that was a song I always skipped. I could not stand that song until that night. And actually, that is like one of my few silver linings of this trip, is that ever since then, I kind of like that song now. Anyway, so I'm just chilling, and because the Wi-Fi is so fucking spotty, I pretty much, like, Spotify is not cooperating, and it keeps just wanting to play Mr. Moonlight on a loop. I'm like, well, this is jank as hell, but I guess this is the vibe. We're just gonna go with it, because what choice do you have, bitch? So fine, I'm listening to Mr. Moonlight on repeat, and after a while, it almost gets to be like a trance-like state. I'm just chilling, looking at the moon, because again, what else is there to do or to look at? It's fine. So, listening to that, looking at the moon, and all of a sudden, I'm like, kind of out of it. I notoriously cannot sleep on any form of transport, so, yeah, great plan doing this for a 27-hour-long bus trip, but anyway, especially when I hadn't slept the night before either, so by the end of this, I basically was running on fumes of 2 days straight with no fucking sleep. This tested me, but, good God. So I'm kind of chilling. I'm zoning out. I hear this. I'm really not sure what the fuck that sound is that I am hearing. But it's a bus. I've never been on a bus before, really. I mean, not like this kind of bus. I've been, like, on a tour bus with the monkeys. Again, another story, another day. Different kind of bus, though. So that is a very different, separate thing. I've been on that kind of bus. I'd been on a couple buses for school field trips before, but not a Greyhound. So I was like, oh, I don't know, like, maybe is this just a bus noise? I don't fucking know. Is that normal? Is it not? I really don't know. So I'm really not paying it much attention at all. But see, because I don't drive, I don't recognize these little red flags like that. Most people would have recognized that as, you know those streets and highways that have like the little safety bump things in the street for if you're starting to veer off to the side and the noise and the vibration is supposed to wake you up, like if you dozed off? That was the noise I was hearing. And then the noise began to shift into like this metallic screechy sound. And around this point, when it was starting to hurt my ears, other people were starting to wake up and take notice of this. And they're realizing, holy shit, we're hitting the guardrail. And somebody up near the front's like, the driver's asleep. Oh shit, what do we do? The driver's fucking asleep. So, we're literally on a fucking cliffside, mind you. One of the most dangerous stretches we could have possibly humanly been on in this entire trip, and our bus driver is asleep at the goddamn wheel. I could not make this shit up. We are all panicking at this point. We have one person who's freaking out so bad they're going, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking scream! They're like, don't you dare! If you scream, it could make him veer off the road. Don't you fucking dare! It's like, alright, what do we do? What do we do? And people are looking around. Some of them apparently know the bus system better than I do, and they know there is an emergency number up near the ceiling on the side. So all of a sudden, we are all glued to that, have our phones out. We are all calling that. We have an emergency situation. We are all reporting this shit in right now as best we can. And there's like one person who was basically the hero of this trip up near the front who was able to gently enough wake the driver to not startle them into veering off the side of the fucking cliff. But I mean, we were so freaked. I mean, I especially. I literally had Twitter open and was tweeting my goodbyes to the world because I was just like, well, apparently this is it. This is how I go out on a fucking Greyhound bus over a fucking cliff. Who knows if they'll even ever find my body. Great. This is fucking magical. But, like, I'm literally tweeting these. They did get posted. After everything turned out to be fine, I went back and embarrassedly deleted them. I don't know if anyone ever saw them or not, given the hour. But given how late at night it was, I was like, I can't even with a good conscience call home. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to fucking do here? But, yeah, so they get him awake. He finds, like, the closest humanly possible stops that he could pull over the bus at, and called in for another driver himself as well, and we just waited. Now, meanwhile, time is passing, and I am freaking out thinking, dude, if we don't make it down to LA by, like, 7 a.m., we are going to miss the connecting bus. What the fuck happens? I don't have enough money to get another one. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here, right? I am panicking. I don't know what any of the protocol is. I don't have anyone with me to ask. I'm not going to ask a stranger at that point. What the fuck are we gonna do when everyone is stressed out and pissed off and just pandemonium is all around me? So I'm just like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? But a driver does show up. By this point, I don't know what exactly the story was with the driver of what ended up happening or if they ended up being okay or not, but they were like clutching their chest outside of that rest stop. So they appeared to be having some type of medical episode. I hope they were okay, but there's no way for me to know one way or the other whatever happened to that driver. But at least the driver who took over was A, not a dick, and B, this one did not fall asleep and reassured us that they were wide awake and well rested and this would not be a problem and apologized profusely that ever happened. So yeah, that was a whole ass thing, and I am very naively at that point thinking, okay, that had to have been the worst of it. This trip cannot possibly get any worse than it has at this moment, right? Right? That had to have been the worst point. That had to have been the low point. It can only go up from here, right? Right? Please tell me I'm right. It was not. I mean, that was definitely the worst point, but I mean, it was not the end of it. So fine, we're cruising, we make it down to LA, I'm kind of like tripping out, like seeing spots that I recognize from movies, like the most notably being like, you know, that scene in Grease with the car racing? I recognize that spot, so I am like violently typing in on my phone, googling, where was that film? I'm fact checking it, I'm confirming it, holy shit! But of course by the time I've done that, I missed the chance to take the photo I wanted to. God damn it, self, why are you like this? I should have taken the picture first, just in case it was, which it was, and then Google after, but anyway, doesn't matter, hindsight's always 20/20, but, so fine, we make it to LA, we make it to the bus depot. At this point, I am so fucking done with everything and everyone and everyone's shit, I just want to go home at this point, but I realize I am this far in. I am in LA. There is no turning around, tapping out now, and being like, Dad, come get me. I couldn't do it at that point. It's like, nope. You missed the window to do that. The only point you could have done that at would have been the Oakland one, so you missed your chance. So commit to the bit now. Like, you're in it now. So fine. I sit down in this bus depot, I'm half debating, should I try and find if there's coffee anywhere, but I don't know how long we have between point A and point B, given how late we were to get there. And as it turned out, we didn't have a very long window to be able to just dick around, so I probably made the right call by opting to not hunt around for some much-needed fucking coffee. So instead, I start digging around in my bag, trying to find some sodas that I put in there, because I, like, threw in a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper just for the road. I was like, I don't know how many I'll go through. Maybe I'll go through all of them, maybe I'll go through none of them. I don't fucking know, but we're throwing them in. And I had, like, 4 of those really big, bubbly water bottles from Arrowhead. Yeah, about that. it was as I was digging around for a Dr. Pepper that I found out one of my water bottles freaking burst in my bag all over everything. Destroyed my books that were in there. I'm lucky it did not destroy my electronics that were in there. I actually didn't have my computer with me on this trip because I didn't know how long I'd be gone. I think I was assuming I'd only go for like a day or two and then come back. Yeah, this ended up being like a 2-week-long trip, but anyway, I really should have brought it, but I mean, maybe it's a good thing I didn't. Because of this, it would have probably been destroyed, but anyway. So now I'm fucking pissed that, like, on top of everything else, now everything in my goddamn bag is wiped down and it's probably gonna get musty and moldy on top of everything else. What the fuck, universe? Who did I piss off in a past life? What the... And I'm like, damn near the point of tears. I've not slept. I am unkempt. I have no stitch of makeup on my face. My hair looks crazy. I'm sure of it. I didn't look, but I know for a fact it had to have by that point. But my brush is soaking wet, so I'm not putting it through my hair now. So I'm just like, I fucking hate everything. But then I remember, oh yeah, we are at another bus station. I should probably find a bathroom. Which I did. And it is at this point that I realized they don't have a spot for the toilet liners. There is literally not even a spot on the wall for them. They literally do not do that here. Fine! So, I figure I'll use my backup plan that usually is just like pull out an absolute metric fuck ton of toilet paper and line it about 10 layers deep and just kind of hover, squat over it. There was also no toilet paper. Germaphobe little me is not going to just sit down directly on that public toilet. Those of you who know me know how big a germaphobe I am anyway. But the thought of this, it was just far too much. Not to mention, it was visibly filthy. So I end up balancing super precariously on top of the toilet seat with, like, my feet on the toilet seat, just kind of squatting, hovering, and hoping I don't miss. I'm just like, I really hope this is the only bathroom I have to use. Oh my god, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I gonna not die? Oh my god, I don't know. But, fine. Make it out of there. Go to wash my hands. There is also no soap. There's water. There's no soap. Thanks. I fucking hate everything. I hate everything. So fine, I dig through my soggy ass bag for some hand sanitizer. I'm like, that's gonna have to do. I don't know what else to do. Mind you, ever since this trip, do you know the safety measures I have in place for myself going anywhere now? I have a little plastic container of basically, like, they are these, like, soap sheets. They look like a piece of, like, a Listerine strip, but it's soap. Like, as soon as you get it wet and, like, put it between your hands, it lathers up like normal soap. So I have a pack of those. But I also found a place that sells your own little private pack of toilet liners. So those are also forever in my purse now, no matter where I go, just in case, because I can never live that level of disgust ever the fuck I can. Thank you very much. Because I'm a germaphobe and I am not afraid to admit it. So, fine. Bathroom sorted. I come back out just in time for, okay, bus is boarding. So I am lugging my soaking wet bag that is now like a gazillion pounds heavier, or so it feels like, and I am exhausted and fucking over this whole thing. Fine. I find a spot to sit, and I make sure this time the plug works before I commit to sitting down, and it does, so fine. I sit down. I figure, okay, I'm just gonna chill. So I am on no sleep 2 nights in a row. Also have not eaten since dinner the night before. And I have no coffee in my system. And I am trying not to cry because I just am so miserable at this point. Just so done with everything. But I'm trying to just breathe. We'll meditate. We'll relax. It'll be okay. Remember, it's an adventure. This will make for a fun story someday, right? And I guess today is that day. But at the time, I am like so just up in my own head trying to convince myself it'll be okay. It has to be okay. There is no other option than for it to be okay. It's fine. Now, mind you, somehow, I don't know how I made it through that whole entire 27 hours. No one ever sat next to me in the other seat. I am forever grateful for this. You have no idea how grateful I am for this. Anyway, especially when it was like practically full capacity, it so easily could have happened, and just, I guess my resting bitch face is enough. And I think just, I'm sure I looked bat crap crazy and unhinged, and you know what, it did me a favor that day because no one fucked with me. So, fine. Whatever. I'm just trying to chill. The next bus depot isn't until Arizona itself, but it's not the one I get off at, so it's like, I'm gonna be here a while, I guess, so fine. Whatever. Just strap in and try to zone the fuck out, since I can't even read my books now because the pages are stuck together because water all over everything and they're all mushy. I still have to replace my copy of Mike Nesmith's Infinite Tuesday, by the way, because of that. Like, I bought the re-release of it, but I still want that first edition because I bought mine day one, and it means a lot to me to have that first edition again. Anyway, I digress. So fine. I'm just kind of zoning out, maladaptive daydreaming the entire goddamn time, since we all know that is, like, my only way to cope with life. Fine. Whatever. I'm thinking, alright, we have made it past the worst part. It only gets better from here, right? It can only get better from here. I'll text Kimmy or something. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So this bus was one of the ones that has the little mini bathroom built into it. I know I keep bringing up the bathrooms, but this is relevant. I was not going to be the one to use it, no. But it was back there, at the back. And somebody apparently took too long in there for someone else's liking. I could not make this up. Some dude was so impatient, he just dropped his pants and took a shit on the floor in front of the bathroom. Like, thanks, guy. Fucking thanks for that. Now we have to smell that for fucking hours, you son of a bitch. I could have freaking strangled this man. And I think that was about the point where I lost it and did start crying because I could not handle this level of just incompetency on everyone's part. Dear freaking God, what is wrong with the human race? That part still makes me legitimately angry to this day, remembering it. Most of it I can laugh at, but that one, I am still livid at that. And having to go from basically like 7-something that morning till about 3 in the afternoon, because this happened not long after we freaking got on that bus. Like, maybe this happened at 8 or 9-something in the morning, okay? We had to smell that shit until 3-something that afternoon. Yeah, you best believe every single time there was a stop to let people on, and like people moved around, I would freaking shift further and further up towards the front to get the hell away from that as far as humanly possible. Yeah. So I'm thinking, it cannot possibly get worse than this. This is going to be the worst. This is going to be the worst. Can't get worse. Until it did, because I think around 1 in the afternoon, one of the places we stopped to let people on, this woman with like the heaviest possible coconut perfume gets on the bus. And you know how allergic I am to coconut. So now I am on top of everything else. On top of sleep deprivation. On top of being hungry and caffeine deprived. And just at my wit's end. Now I'm having a severe allergic reaction on top of everything else. I look like I'm crying from my eyes watering so bad. My nose is running. I'm coughing and wheezing and shit. Yeah, it's lovely. The driver had to ask a few times if he needed to make an emergency stop on my behalf. I was like, please just keep driving and get us to that stop as fast as humanly possible, please, and thank you. And around this point, I'm texting my sister that I was going out to her house to go stay with. Hey, so, funny story. Explain the whole situation. Can you please come armed with all the antihistamines you can possibly find for when you pick me up, please? Okay. So, she's on the hunt to go buy whatever she can find for me. So around somewhere in there, we get to, like, the next connecting stop, and at least I know, after this one, there is only one more depot I have to make it to. And then I can get off these buses, and I can be picked up, and not deal with any more of this shit. So I once again make a stop in the bathroom, because now we got time. Now we got fucking time. And again, there is no spot for the liners. Again, there is no spot for toilet paper. Well, there's a spot for toilet paper, there just wasn't any loaded in it. And it is at this point, guess who realized she got her period that day? I could not make this up. I'm just like, alright, universe, you can stop toying with me. Any freaking time now! What the fuck am I supposed to do? I have nothing to wipe with. I have nothing to clean anything with. I don't even have any tampons with me. No pads, no nothing. I just have to free bleed and just be okay with it. So I go digging through my bag, and I basically just mentally make myself okay with the fact that I guess we are going to sacrifice a sock today. Because all I can do is attempt to make a makeshift pad out of one, and just try to hope like hell it doesn't shift. I didn't know what else to do. Didn't know what else to do. So now I'm texting her, hey, so on top of antihistamines, I'm also going to need pads, and I'm going to need some Tylenol. And she's like, you have to be fucking kidding. I was like, I am not. Do you want a photo of my underwear? No, please do not. Alright, good. Well, I wasn't going to actually send one anyway, but Jesus. I'm so sorry. I can comp you back. Like, So I'm just sitting there at my wits fucking end. Like, all of this was a mistake. And around this point, I get a text from Kimberly. She's like, hey, so you know that, like, power outage that you were trying to dodge so bad? Power's already back on. It's already done and over with. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? She's like, no, look it up on the website. I could have just stayed there, avoided all of this. I just... breathe. And breathe. Okay. Try not to completely lose my ever-loving shit. I screenshot this. I send it to Nikki. I'm like, hey, guess what? Even a funnier story. I'm gonna cry. So, fine. I get back on the bus. And in there, all of a sudden, now I feel like I'm gonna puke. So now I have to go to the bathroom on this bus too. And as I'm leaning over, about to heave, we're just like swaying all over the place. I am crashing into the teeny tiny claustrophobic walls in there as I am like deciding whether or not I actually need to puke. So, you know, that's fun. Especially for the person who is phobic about throwing up. So, you know, there's that on top of the already germophobia, on top of the everything else is just like, you know what? I am pretty much just giving it up at this point. Just give it to God. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do with this. Fine. It is what it is. I don't know what to do. Never ended up actually getting sick. There was nothing really in my stomach except acid at that point anyway, so don't really know what to do with any of this. So And I guess a soda from earlier, but like, that was it. I'm just like, holy hell, this is bad. This is really bad. And I come out, I'm white as a sheet, and just sweat pouring off of me, and people are like looking at me like I have the fucking plague and like scooting away, which at this point I am perfectly okay with them thinking it, because at least it once again means no one is coming near me. Good. Keep people away from me. I am done with people's shit. So I was like, I am so done. So I'm like, just like looking at the time, like, there's only so much left. There's only like another hour and a half, and I'll fucking be there. Oh, look, a cactus. Cool. I can take a picture of a cactus. You know what? That just, alright. I'm in a desert, and it's 1,000,000 degrees on top of everything else. But at least there's a cactus! Do you understand the level of relief that I felt getting off that goddamn bus and getting to that depot? I think I quite literally kissed the ground when I got off of that bus. I was so happy to just be done with this. And this was the moment when I decided I am taking a plane back home when I go back home, because fuck this. I am not doing this again. There is not enough money in this world to convince me to do this again. Hell no. I'll just have my dad wire me some money, and I will get myself a plane ticket home whenever I decide to go home. It's fine. It's fucking fine. So my sister, being the kind soul she is, not only shows up to pick me up with all of the things I requested, she also shows up with a frappuccino for me. I'm like, bless you! And I'm like crying at this point, because I'm just like, I feel like I've been traumatized by this entire trip, but at least there's coffee! Oh my god, it's beautiful! I'm gonna kiss the coffee! I'm gonna marry the coffee! You don't understand! Meanwhile, my nephews and niece are in the car, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm really not. I am really not. Can we all just turn our attention away from me for a little while and just let me cry? Like, give me like 15 minutes to just inconsolably sob. And okay, Auntie Jen, alright. Which I did while I drank my coffee. Just like, oh my god. Oh my god. It's like I hadn't even told my sister the start of what all I had lived through on that trip yet. I waited till the next day because, like, I downed that coffee, and then she got Sonic on the way to her house so I could at least get some food in me as well. Because I did mention I have not eaten in what feels like years right now. And I've had no caffeine. And I've had no sleep in 2 days. And I am so done with everything. She's like, yeah, we're getting you some food. And you're gonna be okay. And when you get to the house, you can have as long a hot shower as you want to take. Yeah, you know what I actually did when we got to that house? I face planted on her freaking couch, and I don't think I moved for about half a day. I like crashed hard to the point where she tells me that she had to check on me at several points to make sure I wasn't dead because I was crashed out that hard, to where she was concerned I may or may not actually be breathing. It's like, okay. Funny story, when we shared a hotel room for Kimmy's wedding and everything too, I stayed way later than she did. She noped out pretty quick into the reception and went back to the hotel. We're not going to that, but I stayed the full length of it. So I came back. She was already long asleep by the time I came back. And I think I got about as far as taking a makeup wipe to my face and kicked my shoes off. I may have unbuttoned a couple of buttons on my shirt. Again, face planted on the couch. I think I had gotten as far as bringing my laptop over, because I started to message my bestie. I think I got like maybe 3 messages through. And just passed the fuck out right there. And I knew Nikki must have come in at some point, because when I woke up the next morning, my laptop was now closed and on the desk, and there was a pillow under my head and a blanket over me. I was like, "Aw," she went all mommy mode on me, and she's like, "Yeah, and I checked on you a few times throughout the night to make sure you were still breathing." And I'm like, you are, like, really, really hung up on this idea that I'm gonna just, like, die in my sleep, huh? To be fair, I do have sleep apnea, so, I mean, it is concerning listening to my breathing patterns as I sleep, and we did share a bedroom all growing up, so I guess this is just, like, instilled from forever. But yeah, so, at least, once I had been well rested enough at her house from that bus trip from hell, I was finally able to just relax, and just, you know what? Even with as many kids as she has, even with as loud and chaotic as her house may be, I was like, you know what? This is music to my ears by comparison to everything I just lived over, like, the past 27 hours. You don't even know. Now, what's wild is the fact, even if I had somehow, some way, been batshit crazy enough to want to take a bus back home, which I never would after that, I couldn't have anyway. Because, like, 2 days later, the part of LA specifically that we drove through on that bus route was now in a huge wildfire and all of the roads were closed. So I couldn't, even if I had wanted to. I would have been literally stranded out there just waiting for that to be dealt with. So, you know, this just added that much more fuel to the fire, pardon the expression, that I just needed to take an airplane home. And you know what? That was the day I got over my fear of flying, because I used to think I was hella scared of flights and would avoid it if there was any other way possible. Yeah, no, not after this. After that, I was like, you know what? I will ask every staff member here to make sure I am not going to the wrong gate or anything. I am in the right spot, doing the right thing. I don't care how annoying I am. I am probably never seeing these humans again in my life. Even if I do, they won't remember me. They see thousands of people a day, so I don't care if I look like an idiot. But if that is all I had to contend with versus what I dealt with on that bus, I am going to call that a win. Because that was, like, probably the smoothest flight I have ever been on in my life. And I'd much rather deal with a flight that's about an hour long versus a 27 fucking hour trek on a filthy ass bus with filthy ass stations and everything that could go wrong going wrong. Just no, never again. I will never ever ever take a Greyhound bus ever again as long as I live. And that is not a threat, that is a promise. Yeah, no. And people have given me shit like, oh, are you too good for? I'm like, no, you do not understand the experience I had. Never the fuck again. I'll take other public transit. I will not take that, though. And I think I am justified, after all of that, to want nothing to do with that bus line ever the hell again. But I must admit, I now understand why people have nicknamed that line the Dirty Dog. So, that was a hell of a story time, and that was a hell of a video back. I probably am gonna pull from the pre-filmed folder for a while I'm still just getting back into life at home again. But yes, so anyway, you guys know the drill. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already, hit the bell notification, do all the other shit that I usually say. I'm out. Peace out.